Hello and welcome to this beautiful sunny day for some yoga from South Africa. We're going to begin our practice sitting on our mat in an easy position, whatever position feels most comfortable for you. Closing your eyes if it feels good for you to do so, but you can gaze softly out in front of you if that's what resonates with your practice better today. Your hands can be resting on your knees. You're welcome to turn the palms up or have the hands in the lap. As we arrive on our mats, letting go of any other stresses that led up to this point, and becoming present, feeling the presence and the firmness of the sit bones on the mat below you. Notice your body posture. We're going to draw the spine slightly back so we're centered up directly above the pelvis. And we are breathing. So we're arriving on our mat as we look forward to 30 minutes of yoga in a vinyasa style, with a few playful elements. As per usual with any of our yoga classes, it's important that you listen to what your body is asking of you today. So if there's a moment where you need to take a pause, feel free to drop down into child's pose or lie on your back completely. Lower your chin to your chest. Feel that sensation of restriction in the throat. Fluttering the eyes open to gaze at the floor. And as we raise the chin up, we take a big inhale and reach the arms up overhead. Bring the palms to touch and draw the arms slightly back behind the ears. Big breath in, open the arms out wide. Take the right hand down on the ground and the left arm's going to reach up and over. Gaze is up towards the sky. Inhale up through the middle and over to the other side. Hand slides down in line with the hip, stacking the shoulders, pulling the body back between two panes of glass. Floating your way up, extending the arms out in line with the shoulders, but drop the shoulders down so there's length in the neck. Rotate over to the right hand side, firm hand to the outside of the knee, pressing the back hand through the floor as you lengthen the spine upright into a gentle seated twist. Releasing your rotation, we come on over to the other side. Firm hand to the outside of the knee. You can use back of the hand or the palm. Pressing the spine up tall and allow that pressure of the hands to wring out the waist. Finding softness so that the body can move instead of forcefully fighting for that pressure. Release your rotation, facing forwards. We're going to walk the hands out in front of you, melting down, maybe forehead to the ground, or just extending those arms out. Walking the hands back in, switching the leg so the other leg comes to the front, and we fold forwards. Rocking forwards onto your hands and knees into your box position as we make our way over into cat-cow. We'll make our way over the cat. We're going to tuck those toes underneath the heels, tuck the tailbone underneath the hips, and round the spine up towards the sky as you press the heels of the hands through the ground, looking at your belly button. Arching the spine down, lift the tailbone, gazing forwards. Exhale as you round the spine up. Inhale as you arch the spine down. We're going to do 3 more. If you need to add some extra padding under your knees, feel free to fold the mat over. Round up for 3. Arch it down. Moving the whole spine, including the head. 2. And down. And last one. And down. Coming to a neutral spine, we're going to reach the right arm out in front of you, arm alongside the ear with the palm facing inwards and the thumb turned up to the sky. Extend the left leg back, squeezing that quad so the knee draws straight and keeping the toes pointing towards the floor, sliding the shoulders away from the ears. Pause and breathe. Connecting into your deep core muscles, finding groundedness and stability, or grounding and stability. Switching sides, right hand connects to the ground, left arm reaches out ahead of you, right leg reaches back. Squaring off the hips, draw the shoulders away from the ears. Left thumb's turned up to the sky, and right toes are pointing towards the floor to keep those hips nice and square. Waking up the core muscles as we set up for a slightly intermediate level class. Full body strength and activation. Replacing the hand and knee down. Bring the big toes together, open the knees nice and wide and pull the hips back into a child's pose, allowing the belly to melt between the thighs, resting forehead on the mat. Walking your hands over to the left hand side, tummy to the left thigh. And over to the right hand side, tummy to the right thigh. Walking the hands back to the middle. Bring the knees closer together and shift the hands nice and close to the knees as we warm up our wrists. If you'd like to get into the feet as well, you can tuck the toes under the heels. So we're stretching out the soles of the feet as we were stretching out the wrists. We're going to send the shoulders forwards over the fingertips and then gently shift back. Shifting forwards over fingertips. Gently shift back. 3 more. Shift. And release, and shift, release, and last one, we shift and release. Turning the hands around 180 degrees so the fingertips point back towards the knees, palms are still on the floor. We're going to pull the hips back to ease into those wrists in a slightly different way, and if it's very intense you can work on pressing the pressure through one arm at a time. So we're going to pedal it out here, maybe one arm at a time, or if it really feels good and those wrists need a deep stretch, you want to press both hands all the way back at the same time, maybe both elbows bend at the same time, trying to press the palms and wrists towards the mat. Release that rotation. Now we're going to flip the palms to face the sky, backs of the wrists connected to the floor. Fingers still pointing towards the knees, just in a different direction. And if you need extra support here, you can place one hand on the ground or palm down and work on one wrist at a time. It can be quite intense in the wrists, especially depending on the time of day, depending how much time you spend on your wrists in general. And flipping the wrists, undoing the toes if you are toes tucked under. We're going to bring the knees together, press the palms of the hands through the ground either side of the shins, and you're going to tuck the knees up towards you. So initially we're just rocking over the tops of the feet to stretch out now the tops of the feet. And relax the legs down. Walk the hands backwards to stretch more into the thighs. Just easing into it. If you have a lot of tension there, it should feel really nice. If you don't have a lot of tension there, don't stress if it doesn't feel very intense. Walking the hands forwards, palms down. We're going to tuck the toes under and lift the hips up into our first downwards facing dog of our practice. Pedaling out the heels one at a time if it feels good, really shifting side to side through the hips. Allow the back of the neck to release, letting go of any neck wrinkles you may have sustained from daily life, too much time behind a computer screen, trying to see the road. I have this problem since I'm short, trying to look over my steering wheel. Settling both heels down towards the mat. Let the head shake down loose. Then we're going to lift those heels up nice and high, round and roll the body forwards into a plank, shoulders over the wrists. If you need to adjust the knees onto the ground, making it slightly more accessible, you're invited to do so. Modifying each and any pose as needed for your body. Lower the knees down. Take a stretch as you pull the hips back to the heels. Lengthen down the sides of the body and then glide the chest along the floor all the way belly to ground. Unflip the toes, roll the shoulders back and down. Take an inhale into a baby cobra where we're floating just the chest off the ground. Maybe float the hands as well, so we're not pushing the hands through the floor. We are activating and waking up our spine muscles, our spinal extensors. Tuck the toes under the heels, pull the hips back, stretch out the arms, little modified child's pose, and then we lift the hips to the sky for a downwards facing dog. Maybe it feels a little easier than the first time around. Tuck that chin back in so you're looking at your belly button. We're going to walk the feet to the top of the mat, bending the knees as needed. Feet around hip width apart, chin to chest. We're going to round and roll the spine up, one vertebra at a time, coming up to standing. Squeezing those hips forwards and rolling the shoulders back and down. Tall body. Take an inhale, reach the arms to sky, palms to touch, gazing up. As you exhale, swan dive, folding forwards. Inhale into a halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, palms down, right foot steps to the back of the mat. Stay on the ball of the back foot. Inhale, rise up, high lunge. Arms draw back, belly pulls in, settling into that high lunge. Place the hands on the ground if you need to, otherwise lower the right knee down towards the floor. In your low lunge, allowing the front of that right hip to open up. Open the arms out wide to the sides and interlace the fingers behind you, rolling the shoulders back and down. Gaze up towards the sky. Pull the hands away from the back of that thigh. Release the hands, tuck the back toe under. Swoop the arms up as you rise back up into your high lunge. And then rotating, reaching right arm forwards, left arm reaches to the back. So we're twisting towards that left front leg. Wringing out the waist. Take the right hand down, lift the left arm to the sky, stacking the shoulders. Right hand is on the inside of that left foot. If you need to modify as you step back into your side plank, you're allowed to drop your right knee. Otherwise, drop your right heel and extend the left leg back into a side plank, stacking the shoulders, pressing those hips forwards. Gazing up to those left fingertips. We're going to swivel back onto our toes and lower the left forearm to the floor. Elbow connects to the ground. Drop the heels over to the left hand side and lift the right arm up. Stacking the shoulders once more. Right or gaze is up towards the right fingertips. Bring your right forearm down into a front hold plank, forearms parallel to one another. Finding length from those heels out through the crown of the head. Lower the knees, lower the hips, point the toes, gazing forwards into a seal, a sphinx. And then we press the elbows forwards into our seal. Unless the spine doesn't allow, Roll the tummy back down onto the mat. Bring the hands next to the chest. Tuck the toes. You can reverse your chaturanga here, making your way into a downwards facing dog. Press up, stretch back. We lift the right leg up to the sky and then step the right foot between the hands at the front of the mat, rising up to float into your high lunge with the right leg forwards. Lower the left knee down gently, unflipping the toes as you sink the hips forwards. On your exhale, open the arms out wide, interlace the fingers behind you, rolling shoulders back and down, knuckles to the floor, gazing up. Release the interlace, rising back up into your high lunge, tucking those back toes under. Lift the back knee off the floor, high lunge. Right arm reaches to the back, left arm reaches to the front, twisting to face the right hand side. Twist, twist, twist through the torso. Parallel the arms. Then take the left hand down, right arm to the sky. Open, stack the shoulders. Squeeze your right knee in towards your tummy. Then lower the left knee down if you need to, otherwise stepping your right foot back into a modified or into a side plank. Take the right forearm to the floor. Drop the heels to the right, left arm lifts. Side plank on the right forearm. And taking left forearm down to the ground. Front hold, forearms parallel to the mat, to one another. Squeeze the quads, draw the abs in, make sure the hips aren't hanging, drooping down. Get that sense of lift from the tummy. Lower the knees, lower the hips, gazing forwards, open the chest. Straighten the elbows, seal pose. Lower belly down, hands under you, reverse your chaturanga, making your way into your downwards facing dog. We lift the left leg up to the sky, open stack the hips, drop the heel to the opposite glute. Let's point the toes as we scorpion that down dog, tucking chin in to get extra length in the back of the neck. Shifting forwards, bring your left knee in towards your nose, round the spine as you squeeze the knee in. Then step that left foot between the hands. Sprinkle the fingertips out in front of you and lift the right leg up parallel to the ground, flexing the toes to keep your hips square towards the floor in your warrior 3. Bring the hands up to heart center if you're comfortable in your balance. And if you're looking for more of a challenge, extend the arms out in front of you, parallel to the floor, alongside the ears. Bring your palms together into heart center, coming up to standing, and bring your right knee in towards your chest. Keep the left hand at the heart and reach the right hand down, maybe just grasping the right knee if you struggle, otherwise interlacing index and middle finger around the big toe and extend the leg out in front of you. Release the hand, bring it back to heart center, both palms touch, and lower the leg down, floating along the floor without touching, back through your warrior 3. Placing the hands on the floor, point the right toes, extend the leg up to the sky, lower chin in to allow your nose to move towards your shin. If you'd like to grasp the back of the left ankle, you're welcome to do so for a standing split. Gently release your right foot down to the mat on the ball of the back foot. Palms connect both hands and extend the left leg up to the sky, three-legged down dog. We're going to take that left foot back to the front of the mat, this time stepping the left foot out to the outside of the left hand. Extend the left arm forwards out in front of you, shifting your weight strong into your right arm. We're going to tuck your right knee in towards your chest, kicking the right leg forward, touch the fingertips, or touching fingertips to toes, tuck the knee back in and step the right leg back into your lizard lunge. Both hands down to the ground, step back to plank, strong core, strong support. We lower chaturanga, up into cobra or upwards facing dog. Tucking the toes, lifting the hips, downwards facing dog. Lifting the right leg to sky, open stack the hips, drop the heel to the opposite bum, pointing the knee up. Looking through where the legs were. Shifting forwards, bring your knee to nose, take a pause. Step the right foot to the front of the mat. Inhale, rise up, arms to sky. And as you exhale, folding forward, sprinkle the fingers in front of you, left leg lifts. Flexing the foot, hips close off. And then bring the hands to heart center, lifting the spine parallel to the ground. Bring your left knee towards your chest as you come up to standing. Reach your left hand down, grasping index finger around the big toe. Extend the leg out in front of you if it's within your practice. Release the leg, bring both palms to Anjali Mudra. Let that foot swivel down, coming through your warrior three. Then release the hands to the mat, nose to shin, point the left leg, bowing deep into your standing splits. Maybe right hand grasp the back of the right ankle as you forward fold. Bending your right knee, palms connect to the floor, left toes connect to the ground. Extend the right leg up to your three-legged downwards facing dog. Long legs. And then right foot steps to the outside of the right hand. Reach your right arm forward, strong balance through the left arm. Tuck your left knee in towards your chest as you kick the leg through, tapping toes to fingers, fingers to toes. Tuck it back up, reach the leg to the back, and stepping back to plank. One last chaturanga down. Inhale into cobra or upwards facing dog. Tucking the toes, lifting the hips, sinking the heels, down dog. We're going to bend the knees. We're making our way into our malasana, our yogic squat. Bend the knees, tummy to thighs, looking at the front of the mat. If you want to float your way there or even kick up into a little handstand, bunny hop, I invite you to do whatever feels most playful and fun for you today. Hop it up, step it around, hips sink down, palms together at heart center. We're going to add a little thoracic twist. So you take the right arm to the inside of the right leg and lift the left arm to the sky. Release your rotation, hands back to heart center, reset. Working to keep those heels flat on the mat. We go left arm pressing that left knee more open, fingertips reaching to the ground, right arm reaches to the sky, open twist, opening up that front body. And release, both hands down to heart center. We're going to have a seat, making our way into our Navasana. If you can lower the hips all the way down, straight down there where you are. Extending the arms, extending the legs, lifting the shins parallel to the ground, holding to the legs if you need to. And if you can, straighten the legs out fully, squeezing those quads as strong as you can, holding for 2 breaths. Lowering down into low boat, floating the heels just above the mat. Shoulders curled just away from the floor. We hold for another 2 counts. Rolling the shoulders all the way down, bring your knees in towards your chest, give it a gentle squeeze. Extend the left arm out in line with left shoulder, lower both knees over to the right hand side. Right hand assists the knees down to the mat. And the left shoulder stays connected to the floor. Making your way back up with the knees, right arm out in line with right shoulder, both knees on over to the left hand side, left hand to the outside of the right knee. Bringing both knees back up to the middle. Cross your right ankle over your left knee and reach your hands through for the back of the left thigh. For a figure 4 stretch. Switching sides, left ankle over right knee. Pulling on the back of the right leg. Releasing the feet, placing them down on the mat and sliding them out to opposite corners of the mat so there's nice space between the feet and the hips are totally relaxed. We're going to bring the arms alongside the body with the palms facing the sky. Shuffle the shoulder blades closer towards the spine so they are flush along the mat. And we close the eyes as we set up for our Shavasana, our opportunity to rest and recover. Unknitting any tension between the brows, unclenching the jaw, and allow that release to really relax down the whole body. Really feel the body weight sinking into the mat. And then I invite you to spend as much time in this Shavasana practice as your body has asked of you today. Just breathing. And only coming out when your body tells you it is ready.